All right, full disclosure. I have seen this episode already, episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett. I forgot the title of the episode, but I'm gonna find out soon because instead of just doing a review right after watching it, which I normally do, I'm gonna do a commentary. So this is the second time I'm watching it, but the first time I watched it, I was falling asleep because I was not because I wasn't riveted. I really liked it. I was just very, very tired. And I was fighting to stay awake. So much so that at the climactic point of the Kraken-like monster, it's like reminds me of the Kraken from Clash of the Titans. When that monster was fighting, when Boba Fett was fighting that monster, I was fighting my own Kraken of sleep, the sleep Kraken to stay awake. So I replayed that scene the next day, just so I can get a full, basically a full viewing of the episode. But now I'm going to watch it, and I'll do some running commentary over the episode, but there won't be any dead air. So if I don't say anything, you won't hear it. But when I do, I'm going to edit it so you can just hear me speaking. Maybe I will speak through the whole episode. We'll see. So got the Disney Plus logo. It's season 1, episode 1. It just says chapter 1. So it's the Book of Boba Fett. There's the Lucasfilm, and I love this montage of Vader and BB-8 and a bunch of the characters from the Star Wars saga in there. It's really cool. I do miss a long time ago in a galaxy far, far. I love that Star Wars logo, but the long time ago in a galaxy far, far away is really saved for the movies. So there is Jabba's palace, brings us back to Return of the Jedi, one of my favorite moments of ever in my life, seeing Return of the Jedi in the movie theater. I must have been 6 or 7 years old. I was 6 years old. It was 1983. I was 6 years old. And there's Jabba's throne. I had the Jabba playset as a kid and the Bacta tank. I was always fascinated for some reason with Bacta because of its healing properties, and you were underwater, so you kind of felt weightless. But it goes to show the physical trial that Boba has been through. You can see by the scars on his body, and then he's having. So this is PTSD. He's having nightmares about and we're seeing it now. The heavy duty traumatic experience he experienced as a little boy. He must have been 10 years old, watching his father get killed, and then going off on his own to try to survive, all in the midst of a galactic civil war. That is heavy duty trauma. And this was amazing. This is him in the belly of the Sarlacc Pit. I always imagine what the belly would be like because you're being digested over 10,000 years. It is a slow and painful death. Even though you don't live to be 10,000 years old, you're probably just being slowly just disintegrated by stomach acid. And I guess his armor being what it is, it's so good. He was obviously able to survive, but most likely not without a lot of. I guess that's where the burns came from, and you see just the stormtrooper who's just not dead, and Boba just had the wherewithal to get some oxygen in there, so he can breathe and eventually make his way up. But this was gross. It was gleefully gross, and I guess he killed the Sarlacc. Or gave him a really bad case of the shits or some kind of indigestion. So yeah, this was just so well done and so well shot, almost too clean. This is like very, very clear. I guess I expected maybe for it to be more gritty, but that is just a minor nitpick here. I don't know how he's gonna get out of this one, but obviously he does. And we're going to see, when he gets, first is all the stuff is stolen by Jawas, those pricks. And then just his just hero's journey, the torture he goes through. First by the Jawas, and then by the Sand People. Just not a care in the world. They're just scavengers taking the stuff. Without a care about him. I thought at first that maybe the Jawas would rescue him. Then I'm like, well, why would the Jawas want to rescue him? And then when the Sand People rescue him, it kind of goes into, their motivations behind it. And, guessing maybe they captured him so he can maybe prove himself, and maybe they would take him in to the tribe, because what the Mandalorian did was excellent with the Sand People, because the original trilogy in A New Hope just kind of made them to be, these savages, and you got to stay away from the Sand People. But what the Mandalorian did, it made the Sand People kind of like the Native Americans of Tatooine. They were here well before anyone, and they were just, pushed out by colonists, if you will. So I liked that twist. And they're obviously wanting to keep him alive for a reason, but man, just baked by the sun, and now he's being dragged by the banthas. Like, how he survived this is just it's hard to believe. Just going through the sandstorm and being dragged. Then he's trying to walk, and then he's just literally being dragged. Really cool soundtrack. I wonder if it's the same guy who did The Mandalorian. I guess I'll check in the credits. It reminds me a lot of Conan the Barbarian, just being put through the ringer. He's already, just what a life Boba has led. And a really good performance by Temuera Morrison. I wasn't too crazy about his performance in the prequel trilogy, but I really liked him in The Mandalorian, and he was good in this episode. And it's so cool because the Sand People were such a mysterious lot, and now we're learning more and more about them, and I really like how they were treated in The Mandalorian, and what I would imagine they're probably more about. Stranger in a Strange Lands, the good, excellent Iron Maiden song, by the way. But it'd be nice to see further exploration of their character. And there's the child Tusken Raider. And it at least, again, my guess is they're obviously they're not killing him. They're torturing him. But again, maybe it's a way to try and initiate Boba and the other Greedo-like character into their tribe if they pass the test. Because if they pass the test, they would be able to survive. I doubt we'll ever. I hope we never see the Sand People's faces, because I kind of like the mystery. And I keep forgetting this is all kind of his dream in the Bacta tank. And I have a feeling the show will explore more of his. I hope they do anyway. More of his childhood and just the trauma that he's experienced. I'm so glad I'm awake and not fighting sleep. Because it was like, oh my God, I don't want to fall asleep. I don't. And I was just like, oh, I'm really comfortable. I'm going to fall asleep. Which is kind of what I did. I really want to chew my gum, but I won't. I started chewing gum right before I record. I'm like, oh, that would be really annoying. So I will spare you. Unless you're into that ASMR stuff. Oh, it's called a Massiff. All right. See, this is the benefit of subtitles. I don't really like subtitles because they tend to give stuff away, but I have it on now just to get some more detail. So it's called a Massiff. Nice. Oh, Rodian. That's the name of the species. I knew that. They possibly could have escaped, but the Rodian messed it up. And the Sand People aren't really worried. It's so cool because you tend to project their emotions because you don't see their facial expressions, but you can kind of tell that maybe the kid is just like very curious about what Boba's doing. This looked kind of sped up, but okay, whatever. And again, it almost looks too much like a set piece. I don't know if it's a set piece, but it kind of looks like one the way it's shot. It doesn't seem gritty enough, but that's okay. Just like that, the Massiff obeys. Very well trained. I guess you have to be when you're trying to survive out in the very dangerous desert of Tatooine. Uh-oh. So this looks like another trial. This is what I'm guessing to see what he's like at hand-to-hand combat. He was able to escape, so maybe this is like, well, he had the skills and was able to get free. I want to break free. Anyway, So now you're going to test his metal, not heavy metal, but metal with hand-to-hand, well, not hand-to-hand, but staff-to-stick combat. Ooh. Oh, I wonder how many shots to the head he's taken. I guess there's no, like, brain damage in the Star Wars universe. That I know of, anyway. And just the sounds from the Tusken Raiders, just very guttural. And there's most likely a language. Like that makes sense. There'll be Tusken Raider translation books. And kind of sepia tone, almost digital quality. And back to the present. Back to the Bacta. Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shand. And apparently, I think the story goes that she thought that the character was dead in The Mandalorian and was, I guess, greatly relieved that the character was not. She's really good. I remember her from ER 1,000 years ago on NBC, must-see TV. The place to be in the 90s. Now, I said this during the trailer reaction, but this is totally The Godfather, and I predicted this just on the trailer. They are expecting people to come to pay their respects. This was awesome. Just him, getting ready for work, putting his suit on, putting his suit and tie on. A friend of mine said he liked it, but he didn't like that he was without his helmet. But my answer is that he's not the Mandalorian, whose sect of Mando that he was a part of never took the helmet off. But Boba Fett is like, I can take the helmet off. But as far as this is what he wants to project. And now people are paying tribute because, like him or not, Boba Fett is a crime lord now. And he is getting protection money so he can protect the business owners or citizens, so they have to pay him money so no one messes with him. Trandoshan. See, I thought it was Trandoshan, but that's the Bosk-like creature, I believe. And it was such a good joke where it's like, we don't, even if they pay a compliment, it seems like they're threatening you. And it's just cool to hear the voice and see those characters like a character like Bosk, and just those eyes. Oh my God. Like a character like Bosk was so mysterious. Yep. They're so mysterious, and now we're the veil is being lifted, the onion is being peeled. Yep. So this is just a lesson in subtext, just these veiled threats coming. It's not what he's saying, it's how he's saying it and what's beneath those words, the mannerism that he's using. And I believe that's Twi'lek or Twi'lek that person's species is. Same species as Bib Fortuna, the previous crime lord who took over for Jabba. So this is a sign of disrespect. The mayor not showing up and not even paying a tribute. So it's the mayor saying, I am not good with you being here, Boba. And you can tell the Major Domo, he's not even threatened, he's not even scared, because he has a feeling if anything happens to him, the mayor will come down on Boba Fett, and Boba doesn't have any reinforcements aside from Fennec. At least not yet. He'll get the Gamorrean guards later, which was really cool. Yep, so they want Boba to pay them. So this is where we're probably going to see this power struggle all throughout the series. And how Boba's he's claimed the throne, but now we're going to see what he does to keep it, which is going to be really interesting. There's going to be physical confrontations, I think, but I think we're also going to see the mental side of Boba as well. Because you probably can't get through being a bounty hunter. You need the physical acumen, but you really need the mental acumen as well. You have to be a strong negotiator, and you have to know your way around a starship. You have to be a detective, and you have to know how to fight. So it's all these different things. And your sense of morality is probably a little gray and on the fence. You're not really loyal. You're only really loyal. Well, not only, but a lot of your loyalty lies with the reward, the money, you know. Unless there's some bounty hunters that only hunt for morals. I don't know. Boba has really, he's done work for the Empire, and I would assume has done work for the Rebellion and everybody in between. And so speaking of morals, though, he is laying down his code and his morals. He is not going to torture, which says something about Fett himself. I don't know if he is morally against torture or at least in the Star Wars, it's in the real world out here. Torture is not a good, proven form to get information out of people. In fact, it has the opposite. They kind of tell you anything just for you to stop. Maybe he's more of the side of interrogation, which is more like a conversation than anything, as opposed to physically harming someone to get the information that you need. So we'll see. We'll see if what his motivations behind not torturing is. I'd be interested if they go back to that. If they don't, it's no big deal. So there's Mos Espa, which is, you know, a desert market. Again, a little too clean. Not that gritty, but that's okay. Yep. So again, we're seeing he's not extravagant, and Fennec is telling him you need to be extravagant. You need to show a sense of power and force, and that is not Boba's style. And this is kind of cool. You always got to have a cantina scene. I don't know if this is the cantina from The New Hope, but that would be cool. It'd be kind of redone. And I don't think that's the same band from Return of the Jedi, because I believe they all perished on Jabba's sail barge. That's what. So we're seeing the service droid. That's what R2-D2 was made to do when Jabba, quote unquote, captured him in 3PO. Now, Madame Garsa, I said, who is she? She looks really familiar. It turns out that's Jennifer Beals, who I just, ever since I was a kid, just seeing her in Flashdance, and she's had a good career since then. But I was like, I couldn't place her. But there she is. And there you go. That's why you didn't have a litter. I walk on my own 2 feet. And he's just casually like, hey, I'm saying hi. You have to pay me money. And I will make sure no one messes with you. And she's just kind of nonchalant. She's like, all right, yes. You know, she's giving him all the pleasantries. You know, she's not making an enemy of him, but she doesn't seem to really be completely loyal. But she did pay him money. So, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. You know, maybe she's just hedging her bets. Oh, and that was the Republic symbol. That was like the symbol of the rebellion on the coins. That was pretty cool. And right now, it's just really 4 of them. There you go. He intends to rule respect, which is probably the reason why he's not going to torture. These are the parkour ninjas. Which this fight was okay. It just seemed, I don't know, maybe a little too choreographed. A little too Mortal Kombat, maybe. But it was still fun to watch. It seems they're either messing with them or, you know, the armor is protecting them from, like, the fatal blow. But they're skilled fighters, and like I said, there's only really 4 of them. And just the brute strength of the Gamorrean guards. It's so cool to really see them in action, because you didn't really see them that much in Return of the Jedi. It was just like a bunch of guys in big rubber suits. But you're really seeing them fight now. You know, there's a reason that they were, you know, the guards, because they know how to fight. Oh, there's the brutality of Fett. So it looks like those sticks can electrocute and, I guess, kill, as well as those shields, I'm guessing. So if you touch those shields, you're in trouble. Yeah. You figure they would have, like, rubber armor or something. But see, they're touching Boba's skin, so it's not going to kill him, but it's going to mess him up. It obviously messed him up a lot. So now it's Fennec against a group of them, and shows how... Oh, that was just so cool. He just shot a rocket at the guy, and the guy just exploded. So he wants them alive, and I think there's 2 more left. But he's obviously very hurt. And this is where the parkour comes in. So again, like, I guess a little too clean and a little too choreographed. But that's all right. It's fun. And you just get to see, just again, how skilled Fennec is. And she's just right along with Fett. You saw it in The Mandalorian, and then even some in one of the cartoons, I forget. But she was featured in that as well. It was either Rebels or Clone Wars, or I think it was Clone Wars. I forget. Oh, nice. It was like a throwing star. You know, it reminds me of the Ninjas movies I watched as a kid. So 2-on-1, they take out the electric prods, and we get to see why Fennec is at the side of Boba Fett as his confidant, partner, and probably consigliere as well. Oh, just threw him off the roof. Yep. So he doesn't seem to be at 100%. You know, he handled himself through the Mandalorian, but you know he's still a lot of suffering, and out come the dreams, or in come the dreams. So it's like, it seems this kid is ordered to go find water, and it's like, take these two out for a walk, and make sure you come back with some water, whatever those rocks are that grow in the sand that have water in them, like little, like a little cactus. Boba's obviously very tired. And that chain looks like it has some spikes on it as well. You know, he's very tired because he's had a rough couple of days. The Rodian, though, seems to be all right for now. This looks like a gang of marauders robbing moisture farmers, kind of like what Uncle Owen, Aunt Beru, and Luke used to do. So water is a commodity, and they're robbing it from them. So I would imagine this is a gang. You know, they're tagging the walls right now. This is a gang that Boba will eventually meet. You know, because there's a reason to put it in there. So nice little foreshadowing. The kid knows enough not to engage and to hide from him. And again, it just seems more of the encroaching, like colonialization of Tatooine. Rodian prisoner speaks alien language, like pouring the water in front of him where he's very thirsty, and saying, you know, I care for my dog more than you. And I guess the kid's not worried. He's just kind of lounging around, as is the Massiff. This was really well done. I thought it was a Kryet dragon or a Krat dragon, but it was some kind of kraken creature. Again, reminds me of Clash of the Titans, which my friend Aaron and I did a podcast with the original Clash of the Titans a long time ago on this podcast. And like, I think this is a digital creation. It might be a hybrid, but it really looks good. It looks excellent. It looks like a hybrid, but it was very well done. And this was a brutal death from I thought he was going to tear the Rodian's head off, but he just caves in his chest. Oh, yeah, that was brutal. And you just see the hands come down. Yeah, it's a team effort. Oh, like a punching bag. Yeah, it's like a centaur, kraken, arms, legs, combination of both. A pretty terrifying creature. That's such a great shot. Him standing with the sun behind him. And again, I think it's part of his code. Maybe he saw a lot of him in the kid, and I don't even think I think he can't bring himself to harm a child. If anything, he's he's telling the child, "Hey, bring this back to your tribe, and you'll get great respect." And he's probably smart enough to know there's not much I can do. There's not much anywhere else I can go. So let me try to get in the good graces of this tribe, and which is what he ended up doing. Very smart on Fett's account. That's just cool costuming as well. You know, it's not the typical. They're wearing black, where the typical Tusken Raiders I'm used to are brown mostly. But you can tell who's the head, and that's just a cool move. It's like, you earn this water. You know, so it'd be so interesting what where he goes with them, and whatever loyalty he's built with them, and triumphant. Oh, and Robert Rodriguez directed this, and Jon Favreau wrote it. So I believe Dave Filoni produced this as well. So it's just, you can tell just what immense Star Wars fans they are. Like, even though I still think The Last Jedi is the best thing ever to happen for Star Wars, because it was so different and envelope pushing. I really love The Mandalorian and this first episode, because people like Favreau and Filoni and Rodriguez, they managed to kind of bring everyone together, because as much as I loved Last Jedi, it was unfortunately polarizing. I think it was polarizing for the wrong reasons. However, this seems to have a consensus of most Star Wars fans, not just the trolls, but they managed to have something new while maintaining, while being grounded in the at least the original trilogy. So wow, such great artwork. But that being said, I still think The Last Jedi is grounded in the spirit of the original trilogy, but I guess not. Maybe half the population of Star Wars fans don't see it that way. But still, they managed to blend the worlds very, very well, and kind of, like I said, peel back the onion of certain things you may have wondered about, or I may have wondered about as a kid. So, and I did fast forward thinking, oh, is there a sneak preview for next week? But I don't think there was. I'm checking again now. It's not. So, all right. Oh, it's times like this I just want all the episodes out now. But anyway, I think I'll watch Under the Helmet, The Legacy of Boba Fett now. So I will end this podcast. Thank you all for listening. Like I said, good episode, and I'm glad to have watched this fully awake, and I'm glad to have watched this, hopefully, by keeping you some company during these trying times. So anyway, speaking of trying times, just get your information from credible sources. We are still in, unfortunately, the throes of a pandemic. Omicron is here. So please get vaccinated. Keep wearing masks. Get an N95 if you can. If not, try to double mask with a surgical mask underneath and then a cloth mask over, but do your best to get legitimate N95s. And get your information from credible sources, not podcasters, especially not anti-vax podcasters. But, you can listen to a podcast from a credible source, like BBC has a great podcast. NPR is called BBC Global News Podcast. NPR Up First is a great source of news. If reading is more your thing, New York Times, Washington Post, USA Today are three really good sources. So knowledge is power. So and you really need to be knowledgeable, because it very well may prevent you from getting sick, and it very well may save your life. So please do that, because I want you to listen to more episodes. All right. So that being said, if you want to listen to more episodes, you can find me on Twitter, MMAM Podcast. You can find me on Facebook at MMAM Podcast. You can send me an email at mmAmpodcast@gmail.com. And you can find this podcast on Podbean if you want to look at past episodes. I got a bunch of them. I've been doing this for a little bit, anytime I can. It's been busy for me with other things going on, but I really try to do it as often as I can. And then it's editing the podcast and uploading it takes a while, especially to YouTube and all that. But it is a labor of love, because I'm not making any money doing this. In fact, I'm losing money, but it's okay. Like I said, it's a fun thing to do, and I've met some cool people from doing this. So if you want to meet me, not in person, there's still a virus going on, but yeah, feel free to contact me. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.